Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about transforming your stomach, your health from the inside out after going through narcissistic abuse. This is especially going to apply to people that were raised by narcissists and you were in the permanent state of fight or flight. You get immune system issues, systemic Candida, and this was one of the major indicators that actually caused me to realize that I was abused. And I've gone through the last several years transforming my health, and those of you that have commented on my videos and my photos and said the reason why I look like I do, the transformation I've gone through, is my health, and you're absolutely right. So I haven't eaten sugar in 6 years, nor have I eaten carbs or bread or rice or fruit. So the very first thing that I did was get all types of sugar out of my diet, including substitutes. And I could not eat any of it for until like maybe this last year. I've been able to do some monk fruit, but previously what had happened with me specifically is that all the Candida had filled my ears, where I had lost about 90% of my hearing. Now I went to the drugstore and I found some antifungal like liquid and started dropping that into my ears just because nobody would give me anything for it. And I kept going to the doctor and they wouldn't help me with anything. And so I started to put drops in my ears, and it's actually, I think the stuff I was using was technically for feet, so don't do what I do. But that's what I did. I did get my hearing back within 30 minutes. Basically was watching TV and my ears just popped open. But I had still, if I ate any type of sugar, if my blood sugar was raised in any way, I'd want to rip my ears out and they'd start to bleed and everything. And so I really had to go cold turkey because of my ears, and because they were bleeding and constantly itching, and I still deal with that, not to the extent that I used to. My doctor says that it's all has to do now for me with how many probiotics I have in my stomach at any given time. So I have to eat sauerkraut every single day if I want to not have itching in my ears, basically. And so I try my best. I'm not perfect at it, but that is really my goal, is to just be super healthy. And actually during this pandemic, I have gained quite a bit of weight. And, I think just being, in one place and not really being super active, and the gyms being closed down and just all of that. And I think being at home, I tend to eat more because there's food readily available. So regardless of what I'm eating, even though it's healthy, you can still gain weight. So I'm going to go through some of the supplements and things that I take and why. And again, you want to check with your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. I am just an individual that got advice from a doctor. I go to an Eastern medicine doctor that focuses in on nutritional testing. He does muscle testing. So basically what that is, he puts a cloth on me, and he'll test my muscle strength as it pertains to different supplements. So if he thinks I need something, he'll put that supplement in that bag and test if I'm stronger. And it's amazing how he absolutely knows everything. I went in once and there was the flu that was going around at work, and I didn't get it. But I go in to the doctor and he's like, "You have the flu." And I'm like, "No, I didn't." And he goes, "Well, you got it, you just didn't get the symptoms. And it's still in your gut." Like, he could tell absolutely everything. So I would highly suggest that, because when you're dealing with your gut, you're not dealing with things like a normal doctor's going to deal with. You're dealing with nutrition. And the thing about that is that even a nutritionalist, they're not necessarily really trained in a lot of this. So if you can find a doctor like that, I highly recommend it. All the supplements that I'm going to talk to you about today are on Amazon. I actually did a live on Amazon and went through a lot of these already, but I wanted to do it here on YouTube as well. So when I first started my process, the couple of things that you've got to do is get yourself out of the permanent state of fight or flight. That is not an instant thing. I thought that it could be an instant thing. It's not an instant thing. Okay, it's a gradual thing, and that's why it takes so long for you to heal your gut, because your energy is still going to your arms and your legs. So as you're dealing with, PTSD and trauma and all of this kind of stuff, you get triggered, anytime you get triggered or you get, you're jumpy or whatever it is, it's bad for you. It's bad for your stomach, right? And you just go right into that. And so it's going to take time. You just kind of have to decide that you're just not going to eat sugar. You're not going to eat carbs. You're just going to eat, healthy stuff, low fat, meats and vegetables. The more that you can eat that's raw vegetables, the better. I've said before that my doctor would prefer that I just eat raw vegetables, but, I kind of feel like I'm so limited that every once in a while I have to have a steak, or every once in a while I've got to have some lamb. And I just really can't be that extreme, because I don't eat breads or carbs or any of that kind of stuff. I don't eat fruits. And that is, completely because of my personal, where I'm at personally in my health. Now, you might be able to manage some of those things. I cannot. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is a digestive enzyme. I use Premier Digest. So you want to take a digestive enzyme with absolutely all of your meals, except for when you eat a salad, basically. If you eat raw vegetables, you don't need help digesting your food. It's more when you're eating things like that are meat and that sort of thing, or soup or anything that's cooked, okay? But if you're eating a salad, you don't need it. And sometimes my doctor told me that I didn't need to take a digestive enzyme in the morning because, you've been basically fasting all night long, so you don't really need a whole lot of help, and unless you're trying to recover from something that you ate before. So I will always take these. All of these will be linked down in my Amazon store below. Gallbladder ND, this is prebiotics and probiotics that are great for your gallbladder. My doctor had me on these initially. I still take it from time to time. It's just, a way to get all of those probiotics and prebiotics into your system. He also had me take some other probiotics. He calls it the green pill. And but he also has told me that the very best way to get probiotics into your system is eat sauerkraut. I've tried to make my own sauerkraut, but I failed several times, so I just buy it. Anytime you can use foods versus supplements, the food's always better. So I tried to do like a full bowl of sauerkraut every day. That's also going to help you if you are trying to lose weight, because it fills you up and it's low in calories. So adaptogen, I take this now. I used to take another one for my adrenal glands, and I'll make sure that that's down below. I started with one that was a little bit more intense, and now I take this one I would take this the rest of my life. It's for physical and mental health. So your adrenal glands really go through it when you are in permanent state of fight or flight. And that is a big part of your well-being. And so I take adaptogen, and that helps me with all of the stress, the anxiety, and my body kind of like, is able to process everything. And you can also look these up on Amazon, and they have full-on descriptions on everything that they do. I also take Premier B6 Ultra. The reason why I take this one is that it's a really, really high, it's a really, really good grade of vitamin B6. And if you take other vitamin Bs, sometimes you can get a reaction to them, like get really flush or whatever. And this doesn't have that effect. And so if you want a really good B6, this is it. Again, it helps with the stress, helps with the anxiety. So if you're dealing with all this trauma and you're trying to process it and you're trying to improve your life, and even myself, I healed myself from the CPTSD, but I still have some high functioning anxiety symptoms. And so all of this continues to help my body as I also continue to heal my mind and my soul and all of that. The next thing I take is fermented cod liver oil with concentrated butter oil. Now, I do this versus eating a lot of fish. Fish is really good for you, but I was getting parasites. I was going to Whole Foods and getting Alaska salmon, and then I was getting parasites. And I'll talk about parasites in a minute, but so I started to take this, and also because I had some cavities. And really bad cavities in my mouth, and some really bad teeth stuff. And, you know, again, like if you've been raised by narcissists, you're neglecting yourself, and I was neglecting my teeth and, you know, all of that. So this really helped the health of my teeth, remineralized my teeth. I also do oil pulling, where I put coconut oil in my mouth and swish it around for 15 minutes in the morning. It gets a lot of the toxins out. You can also put aloe vera in your mouth and do the same thing. But this completely transformed my teeth and reversed my cavities. And I actually have before and after x-rays of it. So I absolutely take it. The other thing that I love this about is that my immune system issue was psoriasis, because that's what is in my DNA, right? So as my immune system was suppressed, anytime I have issues, I would get not the flaky psoriasis, but my skin just hurt, right? And this keeps that away as well. It's anti-inflammatory, and anytime you're dealing with any of this kind of stuff, the Candida and all that, it's you stay inflamed. Everything's inflamed. So this cod liver oil really keeps things from, you know, fights the inflammation, if you will. So I take this 2 of these every single day. So I highly recommend that. This is on a separate website. You can get them on Amazon, but Amazon, they're more expensive. It's like $25 or $24 on their website. So I'll link that down below. The other things that I take, a lot of people ask me about my hair. I started to lose a lot of my hair when right around 2007. It was horrible, guys. And I finally figured out that I was low in iodine. I mean, I went and got my thyroid checked and all this kind of stuff. There was nothing wrong with my thyroid. Everything was fine. And it was that I was low in iodine. And my doctor was able to figure that one out. And even without me telling about the hair issues. And so I take 2 drops of this. Now, if you can get iodine, liquid iodine that comes from seaweed, that's going to be the best according to my doctor. I take 2 drops of that. I mix it with 10 drops of vitamin D serum. This is going to help your immune system as well. And then I put a little tangerine essential oil in it. And the tangerine helps you to absorb the vitamin D. If you don't have this in there, you're not going to be able to absorb it all. So that's why I put it all. If you do smoothies, you can put it all into a smoothie and just slurp it off the top. I literally just put this in a little glass, put a little water in it, and I drink it. Let's talk about parasites. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I'm going to go over it really quickly. If you are trying to heal your gut and you have parasites and you start to eat a ton of fermented foods like sauerkraut and take vitamin B and all this, you're going to feed parasites in your body. Now, how do you know you have parasites? Everyone's got them. So if you haven't detoxed parasites, you've got them, right? And you get them very easily, just like by eating fish. Like I was getting Alaska salmon from Whole Foods, and I was getting parasites. They are like these little eggs. If they start to handle, you know, like shrimp and that sort of thing, along with regular seafood, the eggs get on it, because shrimp has a lot of, you know, shrimp has a lot of parasites and things. And so if they start to combine, you know, cutting them up and packaging them, the eggs get on it. And so you freeze it, you cook it, it's not going to kill it. You digest it, they hatch. And so the number one way that I was able to get rid of the parasites was using this golden thread. This is on Amazon. Again, I'll link it down below. It's not cheap, but it works. I would take 1 with every meal, and after 3 days, tons of parasites came out of me, and I got rid of them. One of them was a couple of feet long. And so that was one I know where I got it. I got it in Italy, and it was something that I had gone to the doctor about in previous years, and the symptoms had gone away. I figured out what type of parasite it was. It's very common. It doesn't have any symptoms really, aside from if you try to have children, you have miscarriages and all that kind of stuff. And so a lot of people have it. You can get it just from going to the bathroom. And that's exactly how I got it. Went into a public restroom and got this thing, and it grew in my system for years. When I first got it, like my limbs and stuff were really swollen, you know, my knees and my arms, and I'd fall climbing upstairs, and then it went deep into my system and just lived out there for years and years. And then the golden thread is what got rid of it. So, my doctor has me, you know, especially if I'm going to eat food that might have parasites in it, like pork or anything like that, or even the seafood, I will take one of these every day. And he can test for parasites if I have got one, if I need to take it. But I'll take those, and usually after about 3 days, they're gone. So it usually only takes a week. So Paracetin, let's talk about Paracetin. So my doctor had me initially start to use these in coffee enemas. I try to do a coffee enema once a week. I'm not always good at that, but especially if you have systemic Candida and you've got all those issues, it's really, really good to have do a coffee enema that's going to really clean your system out, and it makes you feel amazing. You have so much more energy, especially if you have drank any type of alcohol or if you have Candida and you're trying to detox, because what happens is your liver just gets overloaded. And you can take things to kind of help with your liver, but if you can do a coffee enema, there's nothing out there like it that really makes you feel amazing. My doctor told me a story about one guy that was so extremely sick, and he came into his office and he started doing these coffee enemas, and he was doing them every single day. The doctor told him, just do it once a week. He did them every single day, and he completely transformed his health. So that's really great. And he would have me put the Paracetin inside that, so in case I had any parasites, that would also kill it. So let's talk about magnesium. So if you actually go on a diet where you're not eating carbs or any of that kind of stuff, you are gonna get backed up, if you know what I mean, right? So that just happens. And so I take a lot of magnesium, and that's going to keep you just, you know, and I learned this the hard way. I actually ended up in the ER, and they're like, you are backed up for miles and you're gonna have to have surgery unless, you know, you go to the bathroom. And I had no clue, because I was still going, but I just had all these sharp pains in my intestines, right? And so that was traumatic. And so now I take magnesium every day, 2 in the morning, and if I need to take more, I'll take more, and that just keeps you regular, right? And I want to mention that there's differences in magnesium. Magnesium malate is a different kind than the one that I take for, you know, digestion and everything. This one is to calm my system. So if I feel anxiety, trying to get out of a permanent state of fight or flight, take some of this. Trying to go to sleep, also take zinc. Both of them calm your system. So those are some of the supplements you can take to help you to calm your system. So, and the last couple of things that I do is I do castor packs, and I've talked to you guys about that before, and I do try to do those every week as well. And then I did mudding when I first started this whole process to make sure that my body could actually detox. Make sure that you ask your doctor before you do any of it, right? That goes with all of this stuff. And so those are some of the things that I take absolutely every single day. And you can check all of these out on Amazon. And again, I don't eat any bread. I don't eat any sugar. And I basically just eat, you know, meat. I eat eggs in the morning. I do coffee and cream. And then that's my cheat. I do almond cheese. If I want to use, you know, eat some cheese, I do a lot of salads with salad dressing that has 0 calories in it. And then I do a lot of chicken and tons of spices. I just, you know, you really want to go heavy with the spices, because the spices are super good for you, and they're good for your stomach, and they're good for you to fight Candida and all of that. And again, tons of sauerkraut. Loads of sauerkraut. I have actually started to grow my own cabbage. We'll see how that goes. But I haven't been able to succeed yet in, you know, really creating my own sauerkraut yet. It always just seems to go bad. So I'm going to keep on trying with that and see if I can actually, you know, create my own, because you can make it as strong as you want it to make it and salty as you want to make it. Just a reminder that all of this works together. So your physical well-being and your mental well-being all goes together. The more that we dive deep into our emotions, stay present, get out of anxiety, get out of the permanent state of fight or flight, and, you know, kind of get out of that reactive mode, the easier it is on our bodies and the less of things that we need to take. Now, with me personally, my doctor said that my gut is completely healed. I used to have leaky gut, and it was just really severe. So I'm completely healed. I just now am in your maintenance, mode. And so I take these things as maintenance and continual just taking care of my health. So hopefully this video is helpful for you guys. I know it's a lot, and I know that it's a huge commitment to completely transform your health and really take care of yourself. But what happens is you completely, transform, your skin transforms, you transform, you're just healthier, and you'll probably end up like me, where just years just fall off of you because all of that stress and the toxins and everything just get out of your system. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you want more information on any of these supplements, I did a live on Amazon. I will link that down below. Guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.